Everyone, it's Emily Fox. Today's video is going to be my second edition of Show Me a Book that book tag. Essentially, you give me prompts and I give you book recommendations based on them. So let's go through them because you gave me quite a few, hence part 2. Show me a book that you dislike so much that you don't want to read anything else by the author. I feel like I should add a new video to my series about authors. So like one and done. I've only read one and I hated it so much that I'm done. I have two to talk about. The first one is The Silent Patient. I don't remember the name of the author, Alex something. And I wanted to mention it because The Silent Patient was his debut novel, I'm pretty sure. And there was so much marketing behind it. Like, I know on Goodreads there's over 500,000 people that rated it. And I felt a little cheated when I finished it because it was sold like such a great psychological thriller and twist that you don't see coming. First off, the writing was really not great. I didn't care for the character, didn't care for the story. The twist, you could see it coming and just was not great. So felt totally cheated. And he's coming out with a new book, The Maidens, I think mid-June. And I've been asked if I'm planning on reading it, and no, absolutely not. Zero interest, zero, none. So far, the reviews, it's obviously only people that have had an advanced reader copy, and the ratings are pretty poor. So I have a feeling it's going to be a flop, but you know, it is what it is. Definitely not planning on rating it. Another good example would be the author of Normal People, Sally Rooney, I think. Read that one. Hated it. I feel like I've been very vocal about it. I know everyone says the TV show is so much better, but no interest because of the book. And I wanted to read in the book by her, then I realized it was the same author, and nope. So perfect recommendation or mention for this question. Definitely will not be reading anything else by her. Even if everyone, like, she came out with a new book and everyone was giving it 5 stars, I'm not doing it. I'm just not. So kind of feel bad, but yeah, Show me a book that everyone around you loved but didn't really connect with you and you didn't dare to say at the time. I never really shied away from an unpopular opinion, but I feel like some of them I could have been more vocal. I'm thinking Red Rising, which I read when I just started Booktube, and I just felt a bit meh about it. I don't remember what rating I gave it, like 3.75 or something at the time. I feel like it would be lower nowadays just because I hate that. I think it's literally the first chapter. The female love interest is killed and that starts the story. I hate that trope. I hate it. And even the rest of the book, I was kind of on the fence about it. I'm still planning on continuing the series, but like, I didn't rave about it, but I probably should have been harsher on it. To be fair, I hadn't read that many books at the time compared to now, so I feel like that plays into it too. Another good example of that would be any popular historical fiction. I feel like a lot of the really popular ones, I just don't connect with them, like The Book Thief. Everyone seems to love it. I didn't shy away from saying it was meh to me, but like I thought I was going to enjoy it a lot more than I did. Same thing with All the Lights We Cannot See. Meh. Even The Mortal Instruments. If we go back to like when I started Booktube, I feel like I could have been way harsher. And if I reread it, if I do, I think I would be way more critical of it. Again, it was when I was starting. There was a ton of hype, but also I hadn't read that many books to compare it to. So yeah, I think I would be much harsher if I were to reread it. I have yet to continue. I've only read the first 2 books, but the first book I had so many issues with it, even at the time. I'm hoping the lighting is okay, by the way. I don't normally film this early, and the sun is like literally hitting me, and it's getting hot already. Damn, it's like 9 in the morning, and it's getting hot. It's gonna be a really hot day. But we're not complaining. Sun, no snow. We're happy. Show me a book in which the LGBTQ plus characters get a happy ending because you think that they always end up miserable or dead, which I agree. My favorite representation is always when they're just there. Like, it has nothing really to do with the story. I feel like we need more books like that. Obviously, coming of age stories are wonderful. They're there for a reason. They have their purpose. But I like and I want more books where it's just, it is how it is. And I feel like Becky Chambers does that really well. As far as happy endings, though, they're not horrible endings usually. But I want to recommend her newest book that's coming out mid-July, I believe. And it is Wild Bill something. The series is Monk and Robot. There you go. I'll put it on the screen so you can see it. And you're following a monk who is non-binary, and they're trying to find their purpose in life. That's essentially the story. It's very character driven, and it's a version of our world, a futuristic version of our world, where basically robots got up one day and left us. So things happen, and I enjoyed it. I feel like her books, they're not like full of adventure or anything. Like, I'm usually someone that prefers action-driven stories, but her books are very character-driven stories, and they just calm me. They calm my soul. So yes, definitely happy ending, I feel like. Otherwise, if you like something like middle grade, I know a lot of people enjoyed The House at the Cerulean Sea. I'll put it on the screen once again. I don't have a physical copy of it, but definitely happy ending. Definitely very much like a good for your mood, good for the soul once again kind of book. So yes. Show me a book that has been your earliest DNF. I'm gonna cheat. I always do. I always change the props. We know that. So I'm going to talk about To Sleep in a Sea of Stars. I did read 50% of it. I DNF'd it at 50%, but I had vlogged it. I was giving authors a second chance, and after the first chapters, there's literally a clip of me saying, can I DNF the book after one chapter? So if it weren't for Booktube, I would have never hit 50%. I didn't finish it. So, but yes, after one chapter, I was already done with him. To be fair, I did improve afterwards, but it still ended up being DNF'd. So after one chapter, I was done. Show me a book that gave you secondhand embarrassment. I'm someone that gets it super easily. That's why I can just never read romance or like sex scenes, because it's not that like I'm a prude or anything. It's just that I get secondhand embarrassment super easily. I can't not think of the author writing that down, thinking, yeah, that's hot, and then like making other people read the scene and they're also like, yeah, that's hot, and then I read it and I'm just like, I can't. I just can't. In movies, I'm fine though. It's the book format for some reason. Anyway, Outlander recently. That's the most recent romance I've read. I didn't get to that many sex scenes. I DNF'd it about 50% once again. But just the whole like flipping the script of it's the older girl with the virgin boy. I just already. And then the fact that she forgets her husband after 5 minutes. I heard the explanations. I know they were separated during the war. I don't care. She forgot her husband so quickly for that hottie. So secondhand embarrassment easily for sure. Show me a book of which you hated or weren't a fan of the cover but loved the story and vice versa. Okay, before Booktube, I did not care about covers whatsoever. I still will buy a book if I'm interested. I should say buy used, because I think that plays that plays into it, because I'm not spending a lot of money. It's like $1. Library book sales. Oh, I miss you. So if it's a book I've been wanting to read and it's an edition I don't think is attractive, I don't care. I will still buy it. But it's a topic that I now care about talking a lot because of Booktube. So a good example of, I purposely purchased the most expensive version because it's so much prettier. I've said it so many times. Nothing personal to the person that illustrated the US editions. I think they're really ugly. They're ugly. And one of my favorite colors is purple. So like, they're ugly. These ones though, look how pretty they are. So pretty. I love these. But Brandon Sanderson has a bunch of ugly books. And the books are good. My Miss Born edition, don't think it's pretty. Like, not even a little bit. Warbreaker. What the fuck is this? No. Like, so ugly. So he has definitely a bunch of books that are ugly. The UK edition is pretty much always prettier, for at least Brandon Sanderson. So note to self, I really care. Another one, I'm kind of cheating, but again, when do I not? Octavia E. Butler. I've technically only read Kindred, which I don't care for people on my cover, so I don't, like, this isn't the worst one, but it's just not meh. But look at her other books. The editions that I have are straight up ugly, in my opinion. They're just so not appealing. I feel like when I put them on a screen, you don't want to read them, you know, which is a shame because I've heard so many great things. I'm planning on reading them, and this is so good. She does have prettier editions. So if you care about the covers, definitely pick out some of these other editions. But I got them really cheap secondhand, so doesn't matter. I just feel like for you, it doesn't make you want to believe me that they're good, which is not good. Maybe when I talk about them, I should always put the prettier edition just to like... Maybe I should do tests like that. Whenever I talk about a book that I hate, I put an ugly cover. And when I love it, I put a pretty cover just to like convince you. So, and for the vice versa, 5 Feet Apart. I know technically it's a movie script, blah, 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 but this cover is gorgeous. Hated the book, but the cover is gorgeous. My edition of Dune, I have this gorgeous edition. I hated Dune. Again, unpopular opinion maybe, but I hated it. So pretty, but didn't work to convince me that it was. Show me a book that you left unread but eventually got back to it and loved it. I've mentioned it a lot so quickly, but like the Song of Achilles is like the best example of why I need to continue my pile of shame, because I don't even know how many pages into it. I think it was like 19 chapters. Doesn't that sound like a lot? Probably less than that. A couple chapters into it, and I put it down for like a year or two, and then eventually went back and reread it and did enjoy it. I feel like it's starting to become almost overhyped because I see it everywhere now, but definitely a good book. Show me a book that inspired you to cook something new or try new food. Okay, I'm kind of once again cheating, but I've been thinking that maybe one day when I'm not feeling great and I just want like a self-care kind of day and film it, I should rewatch all Lord of the Rings movies and make the bread, the elf bread, Lambo bread. Maybe I'll even dress up like an elf. I mean, I have long hair, that would work. My ears are almost a bit pointy. But I've been wanting to make that stupid bread forever. I had bought honey and never got around to making it. But yeah, I've been wanting to make that bread. So does that count? Show me a book that is so much better as an audiobook format than a physical version. I have strong opinions about audiobooks. I feel like they can make it or break it. Some books are definitely better as audiobooks, and some of them it just got ruined by the audiobook. So the ones that are better as audiobooks, Sadie, if you like why contemporary mystery murder, kind of. It's a podcast mostly, so it's definitely better as an audiobook. Would recommend it that way. I went through it like that because I had been warned, and I don't think I would have enjoyed it at all if it weren't for the audiobook. So another good example would be Poet X. It's poetry, so it's not usually my main thing, and I went to it as an audiobook. Definitely a good idea because of the way it's like narrated, but also there are bits that are like in Spanish. I don't speak Spanish, so I feel like it was nice to just listen to it. Overall, I enjoyed it. Didn't like the ending though, but hit or miss depending on your own life story, I guess. Daisy Jones and the Six, great example of that too. The format is like interviews, so audiobook is perfect for it. I feel like it helps because the book is kind of lacking. It's a bit too short in my opinion, so I feel like audiobooks will make it just a lot more enjoyable. So yes, 3 good example, I think. Next, show me a book that you feel is very underhyped. Well, maybe not on this channel, because ever since I've read it, I've been raving about it. I feel like almost bad sometimes when I'm always talking about the same books, but like I read like 100 books a year. So if I talk about the same 10 that year, it means they're definitely the best one. Like, can you blame me? Every time I talk about it, nobody listens, but The Sword of Kaijin, read it. If you like fantasy, read it. You just have to. Like, I don't tend to read self-published books because I feel like they're usually a miss for me, but this is definitely an exception for me. Show me a book that you don't love but cannot get rid of. Okay. This is where I get real with myself. I absolutely loved Is Dark Materials by Philip Pullman, and so far I'm hating this series. This is like a companion series, prequel, sequel. There's a 3rd one coming out eventually, hopefully, because this makes none. It took me months to finish this. It never takes me months to read a book. And this one was better, but like it's still kind of pointless, and this one is just garbage. So I should technically get rid of them. Will I? No, because I'm overly attached to this universe, and they're not bad additions. It's just, I resent them, but I still love them. But I think it's just that I like the universe and the characters. But yes, the books are, if you haven't read them, don't do it. Just don't. Like, I rarely say that. Usually I will tell you, like, I didn't like it. You might if you like blah, 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 but don't read those. You can read a prequel, but not the sequel. Just don't do it. Show me a book that you felt nothing while reading it. The Bone Shard Daughter. I just finished this one. This is one of the ones that don't do it as an audiobook. I did it because the waiting list was shorter and I was just excited to read it because it's a new fantasy book. I don't know if I would have enjoyed it more as a physical book or ebook, but I have zero interest in ever continuing. Zero. None. There's nothing that much wrong about it. It's just that the world building, the story, everything was kind of confusing. I don't feel like as an audiobook it did it any justice, but like I had zero feelings. Like I was just going through it. And I feel like audiobooks tend to make me finish books that I should DNF because it's easy to just continue listening into it, you know? But I'm getting better. That is my goal this year. You know, I've DNF'd a couple, which I'll talk in an upcoming video, but I'm trying to stop when I start feeling like this. But that one, I just thought I was really going to like it, and I didn't. So that's kind of why I finished it, even though I felt nothing while reading it. Show me a book that you don't even remember buying. Okay, to be fair, When I started Booktube, my library were doing the sales like 4 books for $1. So I was, like it was $1 even if you bought 3, so you might as well get one more. So I don't usually keep those really, but I keep them like on the lower shelves that you can't even see behind my couch. It even has still the plastic and the number from the library. So definitely library sale purchase at 2,312. I got it because of this author, because he's a well-known sci-fi author. I know absolutely nothing about this book. I will eventually read it, I think, maybe, but I don't remember picking this up. Like, if you had asked me, do you own this book? No, probably not. I've been getting better at this, though. I mean, I didn't buy any book for the last year, but I've been getting better, and hopefully will stay better whenever I can go again to sales. I miss it so much, can you tell? Show me a book that was ruined for you because of an author's problematic actions. I'm always so annoyed because I feel like I'm preparing always. I always have lists of videos that I want to do. And I wanted to do one about magical schools because I like that premise. Like, I just really do. And literally 3 authors from that list are like now, problematic. Obviously, J.K. Rowling, everyone knows at this point. But I was disappointed. J. Kristoff, also Magical School. I overall enjoyed the series. The last book is definitely the weakest one of the series, but I enjoyed the setting. I enjoyed the magic system. I enjoyed Revenge Story. So once again, if I do a pick Revenge Story list in a video, problematic author, definitely look it up. I feel like if I were to include these authors, I would have to like put like a little asterisk next to their name just to like warn people to look it up if it's something that is important to them. But yeah, I have zero interest in continuing reading by him after that. And to be fair, I had read also Lifelike by him and really didn't care for it. So I wasn't really planning on reading that much more. But yeah, whenever I do that video, I will have to like remove a bunch of people. Like, if authors could just stay away from Twitter, it would be great. Although part of me is like grateful whenever they don't, because then I know not to support them. So I think this is long enough. Let me know in the comment section if you would like me to do more. I'll definitely ask for more prompts, but I think it's a fun way to discuss some books, kind of give you recommendations and other books to avoid. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm actually going to be filming an unhaul video just after this, so I have to go through my shelves and get rid of books, which is spring cleaning. We like that. Thumbs up, subscribe. I will be putting more videos on the screen that I recommend you check out, and I will see you in an upcoming one very soon. Bye.